Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Seventh Rule with Sirach Lofton.
Hello, hello.
My name is Ryan T. Husk, and today we are joined by a very, very special guest, Miss Chase Masterson. How are you?
Hello, it's so good to see your faces. Thank you so much for having me.
You know her as Leeta.
You look beautiful, Chase, as usual.
Thank
You're just like a bombshell. You never age. You stay beautiful.
Thank you. You look fantastic, Sirach. I would just love to be on here seeing your face if it wasn't a podcast. I mean, I miss you.
Virtual hug.
I know. Likewise. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much, Ryan. It's great to see you. And thank you.
Too.
Congrats on the show, guys. It's so well loved.
Thank you. You've heard some things about us, have you?
I have heard some things.
That's great.
It's the hip thing to do. I'm doing seventh rule.
Thank you. Now, before we go on and on and on about us, let's talk about you for a few minutes. Might as well.
Well, it's good to see you, and I see our friend peering over your shoulder. Hi, Aron, always with us.
There he is.
Those of you at home, Chase Masterson, the lady below me right here, sent us this picture right before the show. It's Andy Robinson and Aron Eisenberg. And you said it was at what event?
It was at Star Trek Las Vegas for the Star Trek Online panel.
Okay.
And we've had such a great time working on Star Trek Online and joining back together and doing some fun Star Trek related stuff regarding Deep Space Nine. Sirach, have you done Star Trek Online?
I haven't done Star Trek Online, actually. No, not yet.
I should
love for you to be on board. It's just it sort of spreads like wildfire, and then whoever wants to do it, they create stories, and it's super fun. And for those of you guys out there now hearing this, there's more Deep Space Nine storyline. That's part of what's so wonderful about it. They did a whole Ferengi thing, and I'm sure, my God, they'd jump at the chance to have you, Sirach. So, yeah.
I'd love to be part of what they're doing, and they did a great job at memorializing Aron Eisenberg in their platform. So, yeah, I'm happy to be a part of what they're doing.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And Chase, you reprised your role as Leeta on there, right?
I did. I'm actually playing 3 Leetas on there. I play. I know. So I play Leeta 30 years later. I don't know why it's 30, but it is. So I play like the grown-up Leeta, the wife of the Grand Nagus.
Sure.
Then there's Hala Leeta, who is as she was back in the day, and that whole gentle mentality. And then there's Mirror Leeta, who is monstrous and would eat the Borg Queen for breakfast.
Oh.
Yes.
I'd like to see this version of Leeta. She must
hot.
be.
Yeah.
She's a tough cookie.
She's got her midriff and her thigh highs, and she is calling the shots and sleeping with Ezri and, the whole thing.
Oh. Whoa.
Well,
definitely got to check that out.
Why?
Different reasons.
Now.
Support your friends, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Support your friends. Yeah. No, well, that was on the episode that in the actual show. So I'm assuming something like that is going on. But the bottom line is it's really fun. It's really fun to revisit. And Star Trek Online it's a great thing. So I will spread the word, Sirach, and
yeah. A little wink wink. Last time I saw you, Chase, I think we were in San Diego together promoting the documentary.
Yeah, with Aron.
With Aron, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time. That's true.
It was.
Last time I saw you.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
And you were working on a few things, right? You have your you have some projects that you were talking about.
I do. I'm really grateful. I do have a few projects coming out in the next year as an actor. They're all independent films. You know how it goes, but it's they're fun. One is called Skipping Stones, another is called Manipulated, and another is called Je suis Auto. And these are small budget but really good stories. So that kind of thing. But the thing that really steals my heart is the work with the coalition. And I'm so grateful to be able to make a difference in using stories that kids and adults love to bring equality and healing. And
what's the coalition?
so it's called Pop Culture Hero Coalition.
Yeah.
And I founded it in 2013, and it's a 501c3 nonprofit that uses stories from Star Trek, Star Wars, Harry Potter, the Avengers, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all of them, to teach children empathy and inclusion and resilience and conflict resolution and how to navigate issues such as loneliness, anxiety, depression, fear. Frankly, I just created it for myself because I have all those things. So
self-therapy as well, then.
pretty much. But what I've found is that it has helped me to navigate very difficult times and very difficult emotions. And I have been a volunteer for 7 years. I've never made a dime off of this work. And the reason I keep doing it,
excuse me, sorry.
Bless you.
Bless you.
You must be telling the truth, because in Ethiopia we say when you sneeze, that means somebody's telling the truth.
Really? That's awesome.
That's really
it's an old superstition, but yeah.
I remember meeting your mom and talking a little bit about you guys being Ethiopian. Like, she's so beautiful. What, like,
thank you.
Yeah, beautiful people
Thank you.
there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But tell us about this Pop Hero Culture Coalition.
Thank you. Yes. So the bottom line is that we use these stories that people love because they're relatable portals to healing. A lot of times it's hard for us to talk about ourselves and what really to get to the heart of the emotion and the reasons for it. As actors, that's part of our stock and trade. That's what we do. But for children and a lot of adults, and even for us sometimes, it's so much easier to access these things through metaphor. That's why Deep Space Nine is such a wonderful show, because it deals in metaphor of storytelling that gets to your heart, and then we open up. And that's what we're doing with these stories. And the reason that I've kept going doing this work, yesterday was a 14-hour day, and that's not rare because I see it working. That's my payment. And I'm grateful to have had a life, to have a life that allows me to do that. But I don't know how for much longer, but the bottom line is it's working. And I'm so grateful to see the healing that we're bringing people.
Is that what the shirt is from, the Be Kind shirt?
As a matter of fact, I got that one right here.
Yes.
So these Be Kind shirts are basically how we have paid for this curriculum to be created. We have a program in schools. Is this really okay that I tell you? I don't mean to just jump in.
Yes, and we're going to include it in the description box below, the links, so everybody can join in on this as well. But please finish. Yeah.
That's so nice. Thank you. So, as Roddenberry said, these stories are morality plays. They're, full of allegory and metaphor. And I believe that Roddenberry would be doing similar work if he were here. He'd be doing something in the real world in addition to entertainment. So we created this curriculum for schools, which is 32 lesson plans that go that help teach habits of empathy, habits of inclusion, habits of ending implicit bias, ending racism, ending homophobia, and other forms of hate, ending misogyny, all the things that Star Trek stands for. And so we have these lesson plans that go into schools that teach these things. And then when the world shut down 2 months ago, we thought, oh no, there are so many people at home who have all of the emotional problems that we had 2 weeks ago, but worse, because we're in lockdown without our usual support systems, without our usual activities. Some kids are in situations where, where their parents don't understand them, where there's a lot of animosity, sibling rivalry, LGBTQ kids who are really in a lot of trauma at home, a lot of situations. And I thought, well, we really need to adapt this. So we adapted it quickly. And in the last 6 weeks, that's the 14-hour day, we have put together the heroic journey at home, which uses the heroic journey, the story that's inherent in all storytelling. Sure. There's a hero, there's a call to adventure, there's fear, There's moving forward in the call. We enlist allies. There are monsters. There are, good guys and bad guys that we come in touch with. And then finally we go into battle and we draw upon our strengths and the hero wins. And that's our allegory that we teach children to go through for their own monsters of fear and depression and anxiety. And so I could talk about this all day, sorry, but
I don't know.
The way that we funded this, because it's very difficult to get funding for education. It's, there are big companies and hurdles to cross and all of that. And we're just, we're a great team. We work with psychologists who specialize in using Star Trek and Star Wars and Harry Potter for healing. So they're an amazing team, but it's still difficult to form a nonprofit. So our work has been funded $25 at a time. And what I love about that is it's crowdsourced empathy. It's everybody jumping in to say, here's my $25 to make it a better world, because these children will learn, frankly, they'll learn how to vote. They'll learn what we're learning now amidst this coronavirus, that it's everybody. It takes everybody to make this world work. Chirag, I remember seeing you years ago, when you were just a kid, and you were so kind to everybody. The guy opening up the stage, the security guards, the craft service people, everybody on set is
really. What happened?
Yeah, it used to be. That was before I became jaded by Hollywood. Early on. No, but I want to say, Chase, I've always admired your work ethic, your determination, your intelligence. People always they see you and they see a beautiful woman, and sometimes they categorize you as the character that you play. But you're so much more than that. You're very independent, and you have really built a brand for yourself and for the causes that you endorse. And I just wanted to know where that came from. Is it something that your mother inspired you by, or is it just something that you drive inside?
Gosh, that's a wonderful question, Chirag. Thank you. My mom is incredible, Pat Carafano. She's a very strong, independent, intelligent woman, very driven. She's a theater director. She also edited a newspaper for part of the time I was growing up. She's a publicist and an actress. And I think I learned a lot from her. I also see it as just as a passion for being out there and taking life, by the horns, as it were. I mean, just really delving in. And we have such a wonderful world that we're able to delve into. I mean, the fans, the stories, the events, it's such an honor. If I'd been on another show that didn't have the credos that Trek has, I don't think I would have jumped in this way. But wow, we're so blessed, right?
Yeah.
Chirag, that was the perfect word that for it. You're right. She's created a brand, and that's probably why, Chase, you've immersed yourself so much in Star Trek, as you're saying, is because you identified with its ideals so strongly, and so your brand is kind of a product of that universe as well as your own personal thoughts.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's quite.
And it's a great marriage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to be a part of making it a world where we can all live long and prosper. I think those are the credos behind this show, and they always have been. And I'm looking back to the documentary, which what we left behind was so beautifully done. Ira really he was so Ira in that, right? And you as well, Chirag. I mean, just the recollections of what these stories meant. And that part of the documentary when Ira was talking about the issues that he wanted to address, whether they were gender equality, equality, racism, poverty, homelessness, all of those things are inherent in the work we get to do. It's so exciting. It's wonderful to see that we really can make a difference together.
And I think people out there should know that you are a very optimistic person who always puts on a great positive energy. And I want people to know that that's a genuine thing, that you're not playing this act, that that's who you are behind the scenes. As long as I've known you, you've always been cheerful, have a smile on your face, optimistic. You've never been, bitchy or whatever the stereotypes for the Hollywood celebrities are. You've always been really down to earth and have this kind of mothering nature about yourself, where you care about people, and
thank you.
That's what we feel.
It's really nice. I mean to. I mean, it comes from being grateful for being around you guys, the incredible camaraderie that we share, and watching you grow up basically has been a real honor and pleasure. Seeing you from the gangly young man joking around on set, and then all the things that you've done since then, and it really is a wonderful reunion when I see you, Sirach, when we see each other, Laura and Ira, and I'm very grateful for what we have.
To piggyback on what Sirach was saying about your work ethic and how you were on set, Chase, do you feel as though that maybe got you more days and more episodes on set? Because we've definitely seen in Deep Space Nine how it was a very open meritocracy. It seems like the writers kind of watched and listened and learned and were like, we got to give this guy or this lady more roles, or more, whether it's the actor or whether it's the character, more scenes, or what I mean? And it seems as though, I know when I first saw your character, it seemed like it may have been, a 1-off or 2-off or a 3-off kind of thing, right? We never know when they show up in the 3rd or 4th season. And they just kept throwing you more stuff because we liked it. We're like, this is a really cool character, really interesting. And it was a character that we hadn't seen before. It's something new in the Star Trek universe. So do you think that part of that had to do with your performance on set?
Thank you for asking. I don't know exactly what. I'm just incredibly grateful. I do know that it was meant to be 4 lines in 1 episode. And we never had a contract. Max or I never had a contract. I don't think any of the recurring characters did. Maybe Andy, laughing over there. He's probably laughing because he did.
You're right.
Oh, that's why he was laughing.
Right. But hi, Aron. Hi, Andy. I don't think that any of us did, frankly. And that was, I think, partly because the stories could always have gone in any direction as they put this together. They had an overall arc, but they did have a lot of freedom in that writer's room. And I will tell you, one thing I'm very grateful for is the interaction with the fans. I did a lot of conventions those first couple of years that I was on the show, partly because that was one of the reasons I really wanted to be on this show. I was in an acting class before DS9 of 10 people in a city of 12 million people. The acting class was taught by Corey Allen, who I believe directed the Next Gen and the Deep Space Nine pilot, or at least the DS9 pilot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was like, I had no idea what Deep Space Nine even was. He was the guy that, I forget, but he had directed Deep Space Nine. And 3 of the actors of the 10 people were Jonathan Del Arco, who played Hugh, of course, who's now on Picard, Garrett from Voyager, and me. And I know. And so neither Garrett or I had worked very much. And I would come to class on these Monday nights, and Jonathan would tell us about having worked on Next Gen. And he would also say about the conventions that he gotten to go to, these incredible events all over the country, sometimes internationally. And he would say he got to meet the people that really make the show possible, which was the fans. And I thought consciously, okay, Star Trek, that's the show I want to be on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's before you ever got an audition for DS9 or
ever.
Wow.
That was before any audition. It was, and I went outside. This is so cheesy, but maybe you can relate. I sat outside my agent's door after they closed one night and I prayed. I was like, I really want a career in this industry. And I'd please, while we're here, I'd like to be on Star Trek.
While we're on the topic, let me just also say.
Yeah. And so I made it a point to meet Ron Surma, who was the primary casting director. And Sarak, I'd love to hear your story about getting on the show. I'm sure you've recounted it many times, but I've never heard it. But I'll just tell you, so I heard that he was going to be at these showcases where you pay $30 to meet a casting director. But I didn't have $30 because I was new in town and I was poor. So I told the casting company, let me make phone calls for you. And in exchange, can I take classes? And so they let me. And one of the classes I got to take, that I chose to take, was Ron Surma's, because I wanted to be on this show.
Right.
And I auditioned for the role of Marta, and I didn't get it because she was opposite you, Sarak. And you were like 16, and I was
a little older.
Yeah.
17, 18, something like that.
Right around 16 and a half.
Yeah. But I don't know if you know this. I got down to the final 2 on that role.
With Marta.
Yeah.
When I think it was my first girlfriend on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, dude, I mean, I feel more like your parent, but that would, that was came pretty close there. And so then I found out that they wrote Leeta for me. And
awesome.
Thank you. It was still 4 lines in one episode. And I don't know why, but I'm just grateful that they did bring it back.
And then they just kept bringing you back and back and back and building more story around it.
Well, I mean, we talked with the writers and they told us if they liked what they saw, then they wrote more for you. And it's pretty much that simple. So, I mean, if you got more to do, it's because you were doing something right.
Nice.
And the way they tell you you're not doing something right is they write you out. So those are the options there. Yeah.
Those are the 2 ways it could go.
That's the 2 ways it could go. So obviously you were doing something very right.
I'm just grateful. I think, a lot of it is the fit, who they had that's had a certain type of energy or not, and how about you, Sarak? You've told this story, I'm sure, many times, but I've never heard it. What was it like for you as a kid being in this incredible show and how you got on?
Yeah, my mom used to drag me around to different auditions at that time. And so she was my go-to. And she would brief me on what we were about to get into. Okay, this is a show, and this is a TV show, this is a commercial. But I did get a chance to meet with Ron for my audition, and I remember the final audition, me and the other 2 other guys that were in the audition. So I think it came down to 3 people, and I remember that more than the earlier auditions. I remember the final one because it was just like, all right, I only got 2 guys to beat, so I mean, I have pretty good odds here. And I remember reading for Ron Surma and Junie Lowry Johnson.
Yeah.
And only thing I can remember is Avery said that when I walked in the room, I gave him a hug and I said, "Dad." And he said, "You were the only kid out of the 3 kids that actually, showed me that kind of interaction."
Nice.
That's wonderful.
So that was the right move to do for those of you out there.
Yeah.
And then Ron Surma gave me a wink on the way out of the audition.
Okay.
So I remember my mom was like, "So how did you do? How did you do? What happened? Tell me everything. Who was in the room? Did you mess up your lines?" And I was like, "Look, Mom, as I was leaving, the casting director gave me a wink." She's like, "That's all you got for me?" I was like, "Yeah, I swear it was a wink. I know I caught the wink." And she didn't really. She was like, "Are you sure?" And sure enough, the wink was the nod of approval. And don't worry, kid. You got this one.
We'll be calling you.
Yeah, we'll be calling you.
That is so great. And they usually don't do that because it's usually a big powwow. But they obviously knew that they knew all together. That's a wonderful story. And, thus began this incredible thing with you and Avery that was really like father and son. I've heard you recount that, and it was very clear on set how much you loved each other.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely, that was the gift, the other gift that keeps on giving. I think there's the double-sided gift on this show. And the one gift is the fact that we get to have the greatest fans anything can have, right? Any franchise, any television show, any sports franchise. I think Star Trek has the best fans in the world.
Absolutely. Clear.
And the second gift is the other actors to work alongside with, and for me that was like you and everybody else, but more particularly the relationship that I had with Avery and still have with him. I just felt like, I needed this in my life. I needed this father figure. I needed this person in my life to help me, make it through these times, whatever the times were at that time, and even to this day. So I feel like I got two gifts. I got the gifts of the fans, and then I got the gift of a surrogate dad. So can't beat that.
Yeah, and I know he felt the same and still feels the same. I mean, Avery has, as we all know, has kept a lot to himself, but his relationship with you is ongoing, as I understand, and that's huge for him, I think.
For both of us.
Yeah. That's really the best thing for the fans to hear too, is because as a fan, we always kind of hope that, father and son are also friends or more outside of the show, and so it just warms everybody's heart to know that, yes, it totally transcended the show. He was like a father figure. You guys are still palling around and keeping in touch. That's the kind of stuff, we love to hear. It's like a match made in heaven in that regard.
Pretty cool. It goes beyond money. It goes beyond, it's a whole nother thing.
Mm-hmm. And when I watch you, a lot of these conventions, you're on panels with Max and with Aron, and I've seen and I feel like I'm watching a family reunion when you guys are back together. So
the Ferengi family.
Yeah. So you have the same kind of, family feeling that I have.
Thank you. I mean, God help us. We are still the Ferengi family, and it won't be the same without Aron. But I know that I'm just grateful that we've basically adopted Melissa, and if Vegas happens, she will be my roommate there. I've already gotten a 2-bedroom place for us, and I don't know. I mean, there's something really eternal about all of us that just lives on.
Chase, speaking of which, we only have a few minutes left, but before we go, can you give us a few words about our brother, Mr. Aron Eisenberg, that you knew him so well in front of the camera and behind it or outside of the set?
Yes. I mean, Aron was such a light. And whenever anyone asks, what was it like on set? Were there lots of jokes? Who was the jokester? Who was the prankster? A lot of fans want to know about the fun of it. I always say Aron and Sirach. And that, you guys had that whole thing with the finger and the, and the self-sealing stem bolts and, countless fun stories that just kept us all laughing and kept everything light, which was so important because it was a really dark show. And I think it would never would have been the same without you guys as individuals, partly as kids and the light, fun energy that you brought, but then also just your great hearts, both of you. And I know through the years, I got to sit next to Aron and Max. Usually they put us in a row, and so we're all, basically next or one away from each other. And the days are long, not going to lie, 10 hours, whatever, we're sitting there. And so there wasn't always a lot of interaction because everyone's just working and, there's people. But what I saw and heard every minute from Aron was gratitude and excitement and joy. And he was a person who loved every minute of life. And maybe it was because he wasn't necessarily going to have a very long one because he had health problems from an early age. Maybe it was that was a secret some sort of de facto blessing that he lived more life in his 50 years than some people live in twice that long, because he appreciated every moment. And how much he loved the fans was top. I mean, as much or more than anybody. And how much he loved Melissa and her being such a joy. Melissa, you made his life. And one more thing, how much he loved the opportunity that he was given in playing Nog, and the storylines coming back, and particularly the episode in the holosuite,
Paper Moon.
Sorry. Yeah. And when the documentary aired, actually when we had the screening at Paramount, I told Aron immediately. He's the first one I went up to and texted him right away afterwards, and he texted me back, and I've looked at those texts many times since, because I was saying, you shone. That was incredible. The opportunity that Aron had to show who he was in his heart and his appreciation. I am so glad we got that for everyone to see, because that's who he was.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. I remember watching the documentary, and he was sitting with Melissa at the Paramount Theater on the left side of me, on the next aisle over. And the scene was about to come where they're going to kill his character in the documentary. And I could just hear him saying, "Oh, man, this sucks." Something like that, something to that effect. And I look over, and I'm just laughing, because he wouldn't even let it go in the theater.
Right.
3 years later, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I just love him so much, and Melissa was such a perfect compliment to who he was, who he is and was as a person. She's such a good compliment to his personality, and we're always going to miss him and then love him.
Yes. Always. You know, something that I'll just say one more thing. Someone who is so attached and connected to both Aron and you, and I know you know this, but I'll say it to everyone. Ira and Laura Bear adore you, Sirach.
I love them too.
They adore you as if you'd come out of their womb. They adore you like their own.
I love Ira's womb.
I love
it's so cozy.
It's so cozy.
I know. He is quite a nurturer. Yeah, but he is. And I know that when Aron passed, our first question is, oh my God, what, why? And then obviously then, oh no, Melissa. And third, close behind, was Sirach. How is Sirach? Where is he? Can we hug him? I mean, all of us were thinking that and not knowing how. But we just, I don't know, you are so special to us, Sirach, and as was Aron, and I'm grateful for the upside of that, which is what we have and what we had.
Yeah, me too. I was in a little bit of a funk in my life when Aron kind of approached me to do this show, this podcast, and it's almost like he sensed that I needed him in some type of way. And so when he approached me, I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And it really, this show and doing this podcast and working with Aron really brought me out of that kind of a funk that I was in.
Wow.
And so it's almost like he saved me on his way out, you know, and I really feel that way. So we're always going to, you know, have a special place for what he did for us.
It's really beautiful.
Definitely.
I got to go back and watch those old episodes, definitely. But yeah, I know you guys are brothers. And
yeah, he started off as a real bad, jerky friend, but he ended up making up for it as we went along. You know, he was tough in the beginning. I had to really beg him to be my friend, you know.
Back in the day, you mean?
I think he means on the show. Where'd he go? Did he freeze on us?
You froze. Oh, is that Aron? Aron is putting around now us on.
Aron's giving him the final middle finger right now.
Right.
Here we go. There we go. Am I back or no?
Yeah, you're back. You were like in fast forward for a second too. Aron was messing with you.
It was.
He's always messing with me.
He's like, are you saying bad things about me?
No.
I know, that was weird, wasn't it? All moments.
Yeah, like he's got him again. Anyway, as soon as Sirach comes back.
You're a great guy. Okay. Am I here? Am I back? I don't know.
You are.
I'll shut up.
Yeah. Anyway, we do have to run. Personally, I'm very grateful for Aron connecting us as well. It's been a great time. It's been a great ride with you, Sirach. Very happy that he convinced us both. I think we were both kind of like, I mean,
all right,
maybe, yeah.
Give it a try.
Now we're like,
awesome.
Thank God he did that.
You guys are an amazing team. I've heard like everybody loves your show so much. Can I say one shout out for Melissa before we go?
Oh, yeah.
So a couple months ago when this virus happened and we were all in need of masks, and we realized that the need for healthcare workers was even more. So I remembered Melissa's incredible creativity, and for you guys who see her at conventions, she makes these wonderful bags and noggins and all this stuff, and I knew she was a sewer. So the coalition enlisted her to be one of our sewers, one of our main people who makes masks for healthcare workers using specific patterns that have been approved. And Melissa makes them, and we send them to hospitals in New York, New Orleans, Los Angeles, and a health senior center in Seattle. So I just want to shout out, Melissa, you are amazing, and so glad you are part of our family. And if anybody out there has a sewing machine and wants to team up with us, email us through the popculturehero.org website and join Melissa and I in helping to make good things happen.
It's awesome. It's a great show.
Wow, good people always giving back. That's what we're all about. And I'm so glad, Chase, that you're doing so much to help other people, and give back. And that's just another testament to how good a person you are and how you've taken this opportunity to use this platform to be a voice for other people that don't have a voice. So kudos to you. Thank you very much for all that you do.
That means a lot, Sirach, coming from you. You're a really good person. You always have been. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for having me here, you guys. You're a joy. You always have been. 25 years. Oh my God. And
well, we won't say the number, but it's been a while.
Yeah. We were children.
Yeah. So it's we're still here and we're still doing our best. And this is the best thing about being part of this family. We're in this together. We're on this ship together, and
Yeah, it's an honor, right? It's just an honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't have asked to be a part of any other show that has this kind of a love and family feeling to it.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that's very much in kudos to you guys out there, the fans.
Absolutely.
And listening. One more thing, I looked up the 7th rule before doing the show. And
what'd you find?
Apparently, no, but I mean, the rule of acquisition is keep your ears open.
Right.
Yes.
Is that what this is named after?
Yes. That was Aron's idea too. That's the name he was very proud of it. He said, "What do you think about the 7th rule? It means keep your ears open." We're like, "That's brilliant. That's perfect."
Yeah. No argument. And I mean, that's the rarest thing. There's no argument about it, right? It was no like, well, let's think of something else.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. We looked it up. Not taken. Cool. Easy.
Awesome.
Anyway, we do have to run, but thank you so much, Chase. It was amazing to have you. We do hope you come back very soon or moderately soon, whenever your schedule allows.
I'll bring pics next time.
Great. And we'll have all your information and your coalition's information in the description box below.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Sirach, we see you.
I'm back, and goodbye. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being such a cool friend and role model, Sirach. You mean so much to so many people, and it's really just been an honor to do your show. And
it's been an honor to have you.
Thank you. And thank you, Ryan. You rock. It's wonderful what you're doing.
And we got to do this again because we haven't gotten to the meat of your episodes and your involvement in the show. And when we do, We want to talk to you about certain scenes and episodes and what you're thinking and going through.
That's right.
Thank you. What's it like to kiss a Ferengi?
Save that one for the next time.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, thanks very much.
Thank you so much, everybody.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it so much.
And those of you at home, speaking of which, always remember the 7th rule.